It's a new year. What are you going to do about it? We have some ideas for you next on City Corner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. Well, today we're going to take a look at some options you have in the new year, kind of a wide range of options. In the second segment of the program, we're going to meet a career coach that may have the key to happiness, your happiness in the future. But before we do that, we're taking a look at the new year with Mike Okonekie. That's Michelle. Mike is the nickname, Okonekie, from Healthy Planet magazine. She's the arts editor. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Happy New Year, Steve.
I don't guess you need a career coach because you've been doing your thing for a long time.
I've been around a long time. I've been in the arts about 41 years and starting my 16th year with the Healthy Planet.
Wow, you're going to preview some things that we should put on our calendar to do, arts-wise, in the new year. But give me the short plug for Healthy Planet magazine.
The Healthy Planet is the oldest green healthy living magazine in the area. We're available at 800 pickup points around the metro area, such as Dearborg, Straub's, Whole Foods, the Botanical Garden, and you can also read it online.
Right.
And we have we're published monthly.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've taken a look ahead in the new year and picked out some things that have caught your attention as far as arts, things to do, right?
It's going to be a busy year.
Going to be a busy year. Well, why don't we have two images from, I think, an event coming up first. What do you want to start with?
Well, let's start first with Dance St. Louis. And Dance St. Louis is a wonderful organization here in St. Louis and brings in a lot of companies from all over the world. But first up this year, February 22nd, is the Alvin Ailey II Dance Company. Will be at the Two Hill.
There's something.
Oh, they're awesome. And they're going to be performing this famous Revelations, which is an awesome piece. They're also going to be performing and premiering a new piece called Still, and it's by Curvin Duthit Boyd. And Curvin had been with Alvin Ailey for many years, but he's now the dance co-director at Coca.
They were really lucky to get him.
Yeah, it's going to be
really
really
those
exciting.
people that don't know, Alvin Ailey has to be on the top 2 or 3 recognized dance companies in the world.
They truly are. And they're not a typical dance company. They're very powerful athletes. Right. And it's just gorgeous dance. So.
Dance is athletics.
Yeah, and as long as we're talking about them, I will plug later in the year, their Spring to Dance comes up over the Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
So if you're not a dance enthusiast and you want to just taste a lot of different kinds of dance, that's the event to look for.
You might like dance more than you think if you've never seen it.
Definitely.
We have 2 images from another event.
And next up, Contemporary Art Museum, CAM, as it's called, is on Washington in the Grand Center District. And they just received a $25,000 grant from the Bellwether Foundation to expand their initiative. They go into schools and supplement artistic learning. Last year, they serviced over 5,000 kids. But the other thing that a lot of people don't know about CAM is on the second Saturday of each month, they host what they call stroller tours and play dates. You know, many times parents with little bitty kids don't get out so much, so this is an opportunity for them to get out, experience the arts, and bring their little ones along too. There's a lot of activities for the little guys to do, and it's all free.
That sounds fun. I think we have 4 events. Why don't you run down the next 4 that are coming up?
We do. The Foundry Arts Center is going to be hosting Voting Daughters, 100 Years of Women's Suffrage, and that'll be March 20th through May 1st. It's going to be a fabulous exhibit of photography and 2D art. So again, free to visit up in St. Charles.
Yeah, it always surprises me when I think women have only had the right to vote here 100 years.
Yeah.
You kind of forget that.
Think of that.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that today.
At least you're not bitter.
No, not in the least. And then next up, the St. Louis Symphony. And once again, I thought this year I'd try to talk about some places that people maybe don't typically go, or they go, oh, that's not for me. The St. Louis Symphony is really doing a lot of reach out to try to pull people in who might not experience a symphony. And along with projection of various films, their symphony performs the live score. So up in March 22nd, 20th to the 22nd, they're going to be performing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So you get to watch the film and hear live music.
This looks like Freddie Mercury.
It is. February 28th, the music of Queen is going to be performed at St. Louis Symphony. So if you go, ooh, I don't like classical music, you're going to love this. So check out slso.org.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, it really will.
I think we have one more.
There we go. And this is for Metro Theater Company, is going to be performing the world premiere of Ghost.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, we're a little older, Steve. Ghost is
Thanks, Mike.
the age 10 and up into preteens know the story of Ghost.
Oh, really?
And it has won all kinds of awards. It was a New York Times bestseller. It's won the Newbery Award. It's a fabulous story about a coming of age of a young boy. Along the way, he learns to make friends and finds a father figure, and it's just a lovely story. But it's life lessons for any age. So again, it's something for families to do, as well as mature
Maybe someone like I
audiences.
should go and experience something I don't know about.
Yeah, we can
right?
both benefit, huh?
Yeah, okay, call me
I
later.
think so. Okay, we'll do
Hey,
that.
one of my favorite places to go ever since I was a little kid has been the Muni.
We love the Muni. It's
And
St.
now
Louis. It's
all the work
ours.
they've done this past year on, I think, both the stage and the seating area too, right?
Yeah, okay, and I was a naysayer over the stage. At
were?
first, I was, but once I saw it, it's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous.
Well, I think you're going to run down the season for us.
We are, and this year we're up for a lot of fun because the Muni is doing some of the traditionals. So Mary Poppins and the Sound of Music and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. So if you like classic Muni, it's here this year. But then they're doing the other things like Chicago,
Okay.
and they're going to put on Sweeney Todd, the demented barber, demon barber, Smokey Joe's Cafe, and Get on Your Feet, which is Emilio and Gloria Esteban's story.
What's Smokey Joe's Cafe about? I've
Smokey
heard
Joe's,
that one.
it's the songs of Lieber and Stoller, and a fairly modern musical.
And On Your Feet?
On Your Feet, it's Gloria and Esteban.
Oh, on the right from the song.
Yeah. So anyway, it's their love story and their life story. So we're going to see classical and a lot of fun, edgy stuff.
Because you haven't been to the
Great.
Muni to actually see the stuff yet, have you? Not the shows, I mean, but the
No.
improvements and things.
No, not for this year.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That
So
should be exciting.
Surprise for all of us. Yeah.
And I think anything going on at the Missouri Botanical Garden.
Yes, the Botanical Garden likes to bring in, lately they've been bringing in some special artwork that's our installations throughout the garden. So this year they're doing origami in the garden. So
Origami, which is paper.
Folded paper, yeah, the Japanese art of folding paper. And these are all going to be works by Santa Fe artists Jennifer and Kevin Box. Along with some collaborations with other artists. So the origami is going to be scattered throughout the garden. Obviously, these are images from a previous installation, not here in St. Louis. But you're going to see wonderful, wonderful works. And it'll be up all the way from April 25th through October 11th. So you'll have the whole summer to see it.
Right. Anything else on your calendar there?
Oh, we got a few other things, I think. Lots of art fairs this year. But of course, one of the best is our new ones is the Richmond Heights Arts Festival, and it's at the intersection of Big Bend and Lindbergh Boulevard, just a little south of Highway 40 and Big Bend. And then, of course, we have Much Ado About Nothing coming up for the St. Louis Shakespeare Festival. One of the things that they're doing too is they're going to present a few movies on Art Hill as well about Shakespeare. And then, of course, the Art Museum. The big exhibit there this year will be Millet to Modern Art, Van Gogh to Dali, and that opens in February and runs through May 17th.
And you know, of course, and you just kind of touched on the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
As far as
Read The Healthy Planet and our Artful Happenings calendar so you know what's going on every month. But St. Louis is just, I would say, it's just a hot pot for the arts.
Yeah.
We've got
How
all
many
kinds of things.
productions or shows or events do you think you go to on an official basis in a year?
I don't know. For a while, I kept ticket stubs, and then I filled a big container, and I thought, oh, well, that's okay. But a lot. That's putting it mildly. I'm privileged to get to meet a lot of the actors and some of the directors and really see all that goes into the performances. And you hear over and over from performers that St. Louis is the place they want. Our audiences are so appreciative and knowledgeable about the arts, and people
Well, you know,
enjoy
for
it.
years, for 11 years, I hosted Cityscape on St. Louis Public Radio. And that was a show that I'd always interview people performing. For a lot of famous people would come in throughout of town. And I'm echoing what you're saying is because I talked to a lot of them in private. And they were very impressed from just things like performing at the Muni or at the Fox, just as a building, a facility, and about our audiences. And so you're just not making that up.
Oh, no, it's genuine. And when you look back through the history logs of those venues, and you see some of the famous performers who got starts here. So you might be seeing a budding performer who becomes very, very famous later. So, yeah,
You know what, some might wonder, you do this for Healthy Planet magazine, which often has, most of it content deals with healthy food and lifestyle and that sort of thing. Why would they want to report on the arts at all?
because the arts are so important to a healthy lifestyle. It balances you.
Well, mental health, I didn't think about that.
Mental health, your outlook. Look at how much, even the very things that we just reviewed here, you're going to see Japanese art, origami. You might not experience that otherwise. Ghost teaches all kinds of life lessons. Some of the arts are expanding your knowledge about musical performances. So it just gives you a much fuller, richer life.
You're sort of an artist yourself.
I am.
I don't mean sort of, you are an artist.
Yes,
Can I ask you about your own little endeavor,
Of
Stone
course,
Hollow?
of course. I own Stone Hollow Studio, starting our 41st year in business.
How long?
41 years. Formed
Did
it
your
in
grandmother start it?
1979. I wish. But my grandmother was an artist. But at any rate, no, I've been in business that long.
So where are you
And
located?
just a little south of Eureka. We have an online presence, and I sell to a lot of shops and galleries in the U.S. and Canada. And I go to a few shows, not so many now, but I primarily do scrimshaw as well as oil paintings, and I teach for St. Louis Community College, teach studio painting.
Do you really?
I do.
Huh. Do you paint a lot in private?
Oh, not as much as I'd like to.
Because you're pretty busy.
Yeah. It's my treat. I reward myself when.
How interested are you in the other things in Healthy Planet magazine when it comes to healthy eating and that sort of thing? Do you follow that too, or are you just in the art pages?
No, I'm one of those crazy vegetarians. And
Hey, I'm kind of getting there. I don't think I'll ever be there 100%.
Veggies are good. And I garden. I worked at Missouri Botanical Garden as a master gardener for a while.
You did?
So I teach some horticulture classes at St. Louis Community College, and I have a big vegetable and herb garden on my own property.
You have any specialties?
Herbs. I just love herbs. Yeah.
How about tofu? You know, one reason that kept me from being a vegetarian, and I don't eat as much meat as most people, but you remember back in the day when we first started eating tofu, it wasn't very good.
No, it's like sponge.
These days, you can't tell. I had tofu shrimp roll the other day, tasted just like real shrimp.
Or the little meat crumbles. That taste, as long as I can make a sloppy Joe with anything, I'm happy.
Well, Mike, any closing comments you have on 2020 and enjoying the arts?
It's going to be a good year. We've only talked about half of the year, not even half, and I encourage people to really go out and try the arts. Again, St. Louis is blessed. Most of our events are very reasonably priced or free.
Check out Mike's column in the monthly Healthy Planet magazine, available at hundreds of locations.
Hundreds.
And online at thehealthyplanet.com. Be sure and look it up.
Thanks, Steve.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great new year.
You too.
And we'll be back to talk about fulfilling your dreams after this.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods nestled into 108 city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and of course, the beautiful Tower Grove Park where I'm at now. Oh, the St. Louis Blues. We've got the St. Louis Surge, two-time WBCBL champions. We've got Harris Stowe, WashU, St. Louis University, and of course, the 11-time World Series champion, St. Louis Cardinals. So come experience St. Louis.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Selfie. Nailed it.
So when we said, where do we start? For me, it was that warmth and love. It said, let's start in St. Louis.
You're watching STL TV.
I'm Steve Potter. Welcome back to City Corner. Today we're talking about the new year, 2020, and what exciting things lay ahead. In the first segment, we talked about arts events and things that you might want to put on your calendar for the new year. And now we're looking ahead in the new year as far as your own life and your own goals and happiness, really. Let's welcome our guest, Deb Gott. Hi, Deb. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me to be here.
I'm glad you came back. You were here, I guess it was a little more than a year ago.
Right about this time.
Because, and I'm going to let you explain this to everybody, you are a career coach. You also founded what you call Boomalally Magazine, and they're sort of related in a way. So can you explain all that to us?
Sure. So I actually started Boomalally Magazine first, and it was all about living life after 50 and celebrating life after 50. And what I found was the magazine was a lot of fun, but it's really, really hard to start a magazine and actually turn it into a business. And so
you mean where you can pay the electric bill?
The electric bill, the water bill, food is good. And so I really decided, okay, if I'm going to really help people celebrate life, then one way to do it would be to actually study to be a coach. And so I spent the entire year last year going through an amazing program, getting really, really smart and getting certified in basically career and transitions coaching.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've realized now that I'm getting older that a lot of people seem not to have a plan. I know so many people. I know people that have retired and have been very happy and have done some great things. But I know other people that just retired and sort of didn't have a plan, and they just don't seem fulfilled to me.
Yeah.
Is that pretty common?
I think it is. I think we tend to think of life after, especially 60, where it's like, okay, now what? Because I've done the career, right? But here's the thing, you still have dreams that you want to fulfill. And so part of it, I think at 60 especially, is that you actually sit down and you think about, okay, what are my dreams for the future? I've got this much time left, what do I want to do?
And is it important how we think about aging? Because I know some people it doesn't bother them, other people, they feel like there's a knife in their back.
Yeah, I mean, it's all mindset. I mean, that's something I've learned studying coaching for a year, is it's all in your mind. It's how you approach life, the way you approach your future, and the way you think about the world and your place in it is everything.
Okay, a couple points I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
Transferring your dreams into a 5-year plan, what's that about?
Yeah, so the idea is that you could take a dream, let's say you wanted to write a book, and you could literally turn it into a strategic plan for writing that book. So let's pull it back. It doesn't even have to be a 5-year plan. It could be a 1-year plan or a 3-year plan, but you have one. That's the key.
Do you need to write this down?
Yeah, you need to write it down.
That you see it?
Definitely. And so I can actually walk you through a visualization exercise for how you would do that. Are you game?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So let's go back to, I want to write a book. Right? And you would take a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, right in the center, put dream, write a book. And then what you do around it is you go, okay, what am I going to have to do in order to write the book? Right? So dream is the end goal, and now I've got these other goals that I have to accomplish to do it. So I have to finance it, I have to write it, think of these as buckets, I have to market it, and then I have to do the actual publication part of it. So now I've got 4 big buckets, right? That starts to lay out the strategic plan. Then after you do that, you go, okay, under financing it, what are 4 or 5 things I have to do to get it financed? Do I have to talk to my financial planner? I have to figure out a budget for what this book's gonna cost. And so you come up with 4 or 5 tasks around each of those buckets.
Like a checklist?
Right, yeah. It's like I've got these 5 tasks to finance it. I've got these 6 tasks to write it, right? And so you've got this task list that you're building around these buckets of goals that you have to accomplish to write the book. And that literally becomes a way for you to take all of those tasks. Let's say you come up with 20 tasks, you put them in order, and then you start putting them down on calendaring. By tomorrow, I will do this. By next week, I'll do this. by 1 month from now, I'll do this. And you're just checking off the list, and you literally lay it out on either a 1 year or a 3 year plan. And you literally have created a plan for a way forward.
You know, I really relate to that, because if I have to do little things, I have to make a list. Nothing even that complicated. If I have something little to do in the yard, or if I need to get my oil changed, I have to make a list and then check it off.
I know.
It's the same way of thinking.
It totally is. And that's the whole thing about planning for a dream. It's really easy to think, oh, I really, really wish I could take my family to Bali. Okay, that's a great dream. What does it take? Well, you're going to have to finance it.
Right.
You're going to have to plan it. You're going to have to, so you figure out what are the big buckets of things I have to do. I have to research it. And then you figure out the tasks associated with it, put them in order, and now you've got a plan.
Is that the technique you used when you formed Boomalally magazine? Did you do it that way?
Actually, I did it wild and crazy because I didn't know at that point exactly how I could coach someone through this process.
Because you became a coach after that.
So because I became a coach after, I started learning lots of tools and techniques to help people make their dreams come true.
Okay. Well, what do you think about, when we're talking about looking to the new year and having plans and dreams for ourselves, New Year's resolutions?
Yeah. Resolutions are totally great.
No, wait. I was going to totally argue with you, because I feel like no one ever sticks to their resolution. So I think they're not great. Tell me why I'm wrong.
So let me tell you why you're wrong. So resolutions are great if you know how you're going to execute them. Right? It's back to what's the plan for executing it. So I'm going to lose 15 pounds. Okay, what's that going to take? Well, I'm going to have what's the plan that I'm going to use? That's create my plan. Second thing, what foods am I going to have to buy? Thing 2, bucket 3, what things am I going to have to get out of the house, right? And so what you do is you create a plan, put those tasks in order, and then you check them off. By the end of tomorrow, I will have purged everything out of the house that has sugar in it. By the end of next week, I'll do this. And then you reward yourself for every step that you take in the task list you've created to lose that 5 pounds or 10 pounds. So you can use this process with a dream. You can do it with a resolution. I wish I could run a marathon. Okay, let's figure out what that's going to take, right? And you literally create these intermediate goals, the tasks that are associated with them, put them in order, execute.
So is that what you do in your job as a coach, is to help people kind of put together the things you're talking about right now?
Very much so. Very much so. And part of it too is, the planning piece is a big part of it, but so is the mindset. So part of my job as a coach is helping you keep your energy high and your engagement level high with that goal, right? And so a coach, for example, would meet with you every week, and they're your accountability partner, right? So if you say, in the next week, I'm going to do X.
You'll say, Steve, did you get that done?
Exactly. You have to be accountable for what it is that you accomplish. And really that's what a coach does, is that person helps you go farther, faster, with less stress and more joy.
Yeah, I find sometimes it really is hard to kind of motivate yourself if you don't have that goal, or if you're not answering to someone, or if it's not written down, I have to do this by noon tomorrow. If you don't do that, it's really easy to start watching TV or something.
It is. It is. So that's why resolutions can work.
Okay. Did you make one this year?
No, I didn't. What I did was I said, I have a dream, and it's to write a book. Right? So I've done that 3 times before, and as an academic, but this one is special. This is, and I'm happy to share that with you. But so my dream was, I want to write this book, and I want to do it this year. And I'm going to go even crazier, and I'm going to draft the entire manuscript in 90 days. So I gave myself a 90-day book writing challenge. No time for resolutions. I gotta focus on that. So that was one thing that I did. And then another is that I really decided I wanted to think about memories I want to make this year. Not just goals, not just objectives, not just dreams, but memories.
That's interesting you put it that way, because when I think about memories, that seems past tense. I never thought about thinking ahead of time, making memories. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. So one of the things that I really want to do this year, a memory I want to make, is in the fall, we go every year to an arts festival in Pensacola. We volunteer every year. And so one of the memories I want to make is at the end of that festival, I want to spend, it's in Pensacola, I want to make memories after the festival for 3 days on Pensacola Beach with my husband.
That's my favorite beach, by the way.
I know, right? And so I'm starting to think, what are the memories I want to make? What do I need to do to put that plan into process? Because those memories are so much more important than I have a goal to stay at the beach for 3 days. No, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when
Now,
you're at the beach?
Deb, I know that you're married.
Yeah.
And so if someone has a partner, does that make things any more complicated? Because does your partner have to be, if you have a partner in life, do they have to be on board with you? Can that be problematic if they're not?
Yes, it can be problematic if they're not. And so part of, for example, what a coach would do is help you figure out, okay, what's influencing your ability to do this or not? And if one of those influencers is your relationships, then what we do is work on the relationships so that those don't become a negative influencer, that you actually turn them into a positive influence. And so a lot of communication strategies for bringing your partner into that mix and having them live that with you and be a part of it. And that's a big part of it too.
I'm curious, Deb, for the people that you coach when they come to see you, maybe it's all over the board, but I could see people coming in saying, oh, I have this dream, Deb, I want to accomplish, help me do it. And I could see someone else coming in and saying, I don't know what to do, but I need something. And boy, there's a big difference in those two things.
There is. And fortunately, there are a lot of tools and techniques for both of those. If somebody knows exactly where they want to go, then literally you can get off to a faster start in executing. When you're trying to figure out what you want to do, then part of it is really looking at what are your passions, what makes you happy, how can we turn that into a plan for you to build on.
Deb, and I know I think we've just got a minute or two left, but I really want to forget this. You have an event coming up at the end of January. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's actually called basically Ignite Your Entrepreneurial Journey.
Ignite?
Ignite. Get it fired up, propel it. Because one of the things that I'm really interested in is working with people who want to go from a job to having their own business.
And what's the building here we're looking at? Does this have something to do with it?
It is at Studio 1500. It's a brand new co-working space in Richmond Heights. And so Ignite Your Entrepreneurial Journey is going to take place on the 29th of January from 1 to 2:30 p.m. at Studio 1500, an amazing new co-working and event space here in St. Louis.
And so who would want to check this out?
I think people who are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs, people who are already entrepreneurs, but they're having trouble keeping their engagement and their energy high, that's what this is all about.
And do you need to sign up for that ahead of time? Just show up, or what's the deal?
You can show up, or if you want to in advance, you can go to Eventbrite and you can actually ignite your entrepreneurial journey, type that in, and you can actually do it. It's free. It is a free presentation.
So there's no reason not to go.
No reason not to go. Come on.
You must, Deb, here's some contact information, debgott.life. What do we find there? That's your webpage, I guess?
That's my coaching website, yes.
So if someone wants coaching, they just give you a call.
They just give me a call.
All right. Well, Deb, you've made me think a lot about the new year 2020, and I wish you all the best in the new year, too. Thank you for your insight and positive thoughts about us achieving our dreams.
Thank you. You too.
You bet. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm Steve Potter. We want you to have a great new year, too, and come back and see us next time on City Corner. Thanks.